Okay, so in the most recent chapter of Blue Lock, we see the four boys. Okay, Isagi's chilling on his bed. Hiyori, Kurona, and Yukimiya. Kurona's talking about the salaries, and he says the most bozo thing I've ever heard in my life. Okay, the salaries are worth 30 to 50 million per goal. That doesn't make sense if it's 30 to 50 million per goal. Okay, because that goes against Baro's salary. But what's even worse is when Yukimiya comes over here and he agrees with Kurona. He's like, yeah, look at Isagi. He got 2 goals, 1 assist, and he did crazy off the ball like movement and stuff on the field. That boosted his salary a lot. But the thing is that Yukimiya's entire existence contradicts what he's saying and what Kurona's saying. Look at the first Manchine game. He got 1 block against Nagi, admits to himself that he literally doesn't do anything for the entire rest of the game, and he dribbles past defenders, okay, but then he whiffs with the shot, okay, but that was sick, okay, and then Isagi gives him an assist and he scores the game-winning goal, and he even he fixes his gyro shot. He adds like a extra like oblique, what was it, oblique spin to it or whatever, yeah, and he gets the game-winning goal. What is his salary? 29 million. 29 million. That is less than the 30 million that Corona is talking about. So now that we're maybe all confused about what is happening with the salaries, I'm going to try my best to explain how I think the salaries work, how they function, and why Isagi got a higher value than Baro did in the Ubers game. Let's start with the first 2 matches that happened from Isagi's perspective. We see that by the end of the Barca game, Isagi has around 17 million, Bachura has 32 million, and Rin has 36 million. Now, if we work with Kurona, Hiyori, and Yukimiya's line of thinking, it makes sense. Isagi's salary is 17 million for a single assist. Bachura got 1 shot in, and it was the first shot of the NEL, and he dribbled past a lot of people and he kind of went crazy. So that would give his value 32 million. Now, the things that don't make sense here are Kunigami and Rin. Rin scored 2 goals, and how much more does he have than Bachura? Only 4 million. Now, Kunigami is what I don't understand, okay? He scored 1 goal and he got even less than Yukimiya did in his first goal. Now, maybe that was because it was a simple lefty shot and it wasn't that strong or that far away, right? It wasn't anything special, so maybe that's why his value for that 1 goal didn't do that well. But if we take into account what Corona is saying, based on like how he's mathematically putting the values together, 30 to 50 million does not make any sense, considering Kunigami got 6 less than 30 million. He got 24 million, which does not work in the argument that Corona is trying to make. Now, I am aware that, Shido did get 20 million for 1 goal, but instead of helping Corona's case, that kind of just makes it more inconsistent. Because why did Bachura get 32 million and Shido only got 20 million? What was the purpose? I guess besides narrative and thematic value. But other than that, it just doesn't make any sense. Okay, now we move on to the Manchan game. This is where I mentioned that Yukimiya's value is at 29,000, which for 1 goal and a block, and he dribbled past 6 defenders, doesn't really make a lot of sense. Now Chigiri makes sense. He's at exactly 30 million for 1 single goal. Now, for some reason, Reo is 10 million higher than Chigiri, which doesn't make sense in my opinion, but I guess it makes sense. His physical abilities and his ability to copy showed a lot of skill in that game. He helped Nagi go around the field and things like that. He almost scored twice with Nagi. He scored once, which was a super goal, and he got an assist for a super goal, so I guess that contributed a lot to his value. He almost got the first goal in the beginning of the game, but Gagamaru stopped it like the GOAT he is. Now, Kunigami's at 47, which still does not make any sense. So last time we had 24, that's about a 23 million increase for 1 goal, which still doesn't make any sense if the value of 1 goal is 30 to 50 million. Now, Isagi's value makes sense. Hiyori got 20 million from 1 assist. I believe Kurona went up 10 million from an assist, so that's kind of inconsistent. But I guess the Isagi's last goal on the Ubers was the game-winning goal. So Isagi has 15 million now compared to his 17 million. So that is about, I'd say, a 33 million increase, which that would be around the same. I'd say like 15. One assist was probably 17, which was the game-winning goal, and the other one was probably 15, which was Kunigami's. And yeah, I'd say that makes sense. Or maybe they were both 15, and the extra 3 million he got was from his playmaking and his his game sense and positioning on the field. Now, Bachara, your boy Bachara, got 66 million because he scored one goal against the Ubers, which, in my opinion, makes sense because Ubers had someone who scored a hat trick, and they only got one goal scored on them, which shows that they got defensive prowess, or that Barca sucks, which Barca does suck. Let's be honest. So, now Bachara last time had 32 million, and it essentially doubled plus 2 million. So he got 34. He got an extra 34 million, right? And that makes sense for one goal. And he probably got a little more than he did last time because it was against the Ubers, which were like a super powerhouse at that time before the Bastard München versus Ubers game. Now, in second place, I don't know how to defend this. Nagi. Nagi is a weird one because he got some busted, crazy super goal that was just like nothing the world has ever seen. People were glazing him all over foreign media. That makes sense. I'm fine with it. I'll take it, even though it was one super goal. And Barrow, number one spot, got 100 mil. So that's like that's a 12 mil difference for only one goal that Nagi got, which is kind of, so I guess the super goal like manages to just be so extraordinary that it almost overpowers the hat trick. Now we go to Borrow, and this is where I'm going to try to explain the value system. Borrow, his debut in the NEL was 100 million, a hat trick. So now when investors and people see Borrow play, they're expecting that this guy has to pop off. He has to do really good. He has to either keep his consistency to keep his value, or do even better. Okay, now the Uber salary, the salaries after the Ubers match is when people actually start mauling, especially Nagi and Rayo fans, because they just got absolutely dookie on in their salary. Rayo went down by like 4 million, and then you got Nagi who just went down by 44 million. Like, holy smokes, dude. It was just so bad for Nagi and Rayo. Chigiri's salary only went up like 20 million, and he's now at 50 million, which makes no sense with what Kurona's saying for the 30 to 50 million per goal. And also, he scored one goal against the team that scored a hat trick on them. But when Bachara does it against the Ubers, he gets a 30 million increase. That's very inconsistent. Okay, so a little pause. Some of my audio got like corrupted. It's like it got screwed over basically. So my voice might sound different in some parts because I'm recording this. It's like morning time, so like I'm tired. When I recorded some of the other audio, I sounded like fine because it was like the evening, late at night, things like that. So yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna try explaining third place and Barrow's ranking a little bit in the Ubers match. So Barrow in the Ubers game got 2 goals. He got 1 goal to tie up the game 1-1, which was based on Snuffy's design, and then he went rogue from Snuffy and he scored another goal, which was a ultimate super goal. And the thing is, his performance in the Ubers match was kind of trash. Like, he got cucked multiple times by Isagi. One of his blocks got I think 2 of his blocks got cucked by Gagamaru. Yeah, when Gagamaru went into flow, and when Hiyori was crying like a little baby after his shot failed. So yeah, and he got cucked by Isagi 4 times. So that's like 6. No, that's like 4 or 6, like total, like just screw overs. Yeah, he got intercepted by Isagi once, and that allowed him to score the game, not the game-winning goal, the opening goal for the Ubers match. And so I think that they had the value of his goals by, it was like 50 or 60 million, but because he did worse in comparison to the Barca game, they thought that, hey, maybe we got to take his value down a little bit, you know? I feel like the starting value really really helps to determine whether a character goes up by a lot or barely anything. And I'm going to prove that with Isagi and Rin. So Isagi got 100 million increase, which is something that Baro got from scoring a hat trick. And Isagi only did it in 2. Now, it doesn't make any sense because Rin also scored 2 and he only got 36 million. But I think what happened was it shows Isagi's value as not only a striker, but just like a really good overall player, which is why I think his value increased like that. And also it had to be half of Kaiser's old value, which was 300 million, right? Just to show that he's half the player that Kaiser is in the eyes of other people. So basically, Isagi also got an assist because he helped Kaiser score with like some super bicycle kick goal, right? So that also upped his value. And Hiyori got a 20. Isagi and Hiyori got around 20 million for an assist. So that would make sense that it went up by a lot, considering it was like a really good super goal by Kaiser. And Rayo also went up because of a super goal by Nagi. The money hungry guy Lorenzo says that one goal was worth 100 million, which to me doesn't make any sense because the other goal would have to have been at least valued because it was Isagi's first goal. So Isagi, the first 2 matches was dishing out assists, right? And they saw that, hey, he can not only dish out assists, but he can also dish out goals in this game because he contributed to all 3 goals that game. And he intercepted a lot of designs that were made by Snuffy. Now, when Snuffy was on this field, he was kind of screwing him over. But when they got the ball back, they were kind of going crazy. It's just Yukimiya thought that Isagi wanted a lob pass because that's what Kurona was giving him throughout most of the game. But no, Isagi wanted a ball to his feet because Snuffy was just a lot faster than him and was able to intercept the passes, and his smart Snuffy was able to analyze his thought process better than Isagi could to Snuffy. It's really complicated, this system, but Isagi's value tripled because they saw his potential as not only a striker, but a playmaker, and both of those ideas combined kind of gave him the bigger edge. Now Rin, 180 million. This guy took Nagi's salary and actually added it to his own. That's insane. But I can't defend Rin on the expectation part because he scored 2 goals in his first game, giving him only 36 million. And then he scored a hat trick, which I guess scoring a hat trick would be plus 100 million. But that would be only 136 million. So my question is the other like 44 million, which I guess was just straight up taken from Nagi. But exactly in the eyes of PXG, because it was Manshine's decision to remove 44 million from Nagi, but it was PXG's idea to add 44 million more to Rin. So the question is, how exactly does Rin end up with 180 million? The only reason he did is because thematically and narratively, Rin has to be better than Isagi, because like there's no way that like if Isagi is going to beat Rin, it's during a match, and that's either PXG versus Bastard Munchen or the U20 World Cup, I believe. So yeah, I cannot defend Rin that much for why he got the value he did. It is baffling to me how that works. So yeah, to end off the video, basically Kurona is he's trash at math. He can't do math for squat. Yuki is yapping. The blind leading the blind, you know how it is, literally in Yuki's case. And yeah, my boy Isagi better score a curve shot next game, or I'm gonna lose it. Okay, it doesn't have to be a direct curve shot. Okay, it can just be a normal one on the ground. Maybe it bounces and then it stops on the ground, and Isagi could do the ultimate like parabola kick that Rin does. That'd be sick, you know. Anyways, whatever. Bye.